Hi, this is George LeMieux, Chairman of the Board of the Gunster Law Firm, with this edition of Gunster's View from the Top. And I'm pleased to be joined by Michael Daszkal. Michael is the co-founder of Daszkal Bolton, which is a accounting practice here in South Florida. It started in 1992 with just two folks and now has more than 140 people. Probably more than that. Michael will update us on some of their new developments and exciting new news from their company, and done tremendous work here for 25 years in the South Florida community, providing audit accounting and strategic tax planning, merger and acquisition advice to many of our clients here at the Gunster firm, and lots of business here in South Florida. So let me welcome Michael to A View from the Top.
Thank you, Senator LeMieux, and it's a pleasure to be with you. And it's been 29 years. It's hard to believe because I still feel pretty young and I have a ton of energy, but we're 29 years old, and we have we're up to about 175 people, and we have the same three offices that we've had for the last 15 years. We originally started in Boca, but we have an office in Jupiter and an office in Broward County in Sunrise. And we've experienced some great growth, and we've had lots of success also working with Gunster and people like David Bates and Bob White and a whole host of other people.
Well, we enjoy working with you, and I know, Michael, I saw recently you all had an acquisition, bringing some new folks into the fold.
Yeah, we brought a really nice team of 5 professionals in, led by a gentleman, Zvi Rafilovich, and he has a very boutique firm. He's an international tax specialist. He works all over the world, but his specialty is United States and Israel transactions. Lots of inbound work and lots of outbound work. As everybody knows, there's an enormous amount of business and technology and innovation going on in that country, and they tap into the U.S. capital markets, and I think it's going to be great for both of us. We're excited about it.
Fantastic. Well, Michael, I wanted to ask you about some new funding that's come down from Congress. I think our viewers know that last summer, the Congress passed the CARES Act that allowed for all sorts of different types of funding for businesses. The most notable of it, the Paycheck Protection Program, or the PPP program. Many folks here in South Florida applied for those PPP funds and received those funds. But what a lot of people are just realizing is that before the election, Congress passed, or right after the election, I should say, Congress passed some new legislation that has additional PPP funding. And I wanted you to explain that funding and what it means, who's eligible, and who can apply, and when they might receive those dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're still actually eligible. There's still money left over from the first draw of PPP. So for those companies who did get the first draw, who qualified for the first draw, are eligible to apply for the second draw, so long as they qualify with a few different things. The most notable thing is if you have one quarter during 2020 where your revenues are 25% less than the year before, then you're likely going to qualify if you got the first one and you meet that qualification. And there's a lot of companies, not necessarily law firms and accounting firms and different businesses that, direct to consumer, and the ones that did pretty well during the pandemic, but medical practices that were closed, anybody obviously in hospitality, and a lot of companies just did very poorly in the second and third quarter in 2020, and they're going to qualify. You can borrow up to $2 million, and it's the same criteria as the first draw PPP. It's 2.5 months of payroll. But if you're in the hospitality or if you're in the food service business, it's 3.5 times, basically 10 weeks of payroll. So it's a larger amount, and I like the way they did it because the money is really going to companies who are struggling to keep their labor base up. And this is the Paycheck Protection Program, and it's a wage-based incentive. Where it gets sticky is if you're maybe a large dental practice and you were closed for 8 weeks. So, you had a 50% or 70% reduction in revenue. And then all of a sudden you might have had a good second half of the year. You are eligible for the second draw, but when you go to sign the documents, there's some legal language that says, like signing a tax return, under penalties of perjury, you qualify, and that you need the money or that you have uncertainties. So that's causing people a little bit of consternation. But I think if you're a business and you qualify and you are hiring people and you're maintaining your wage base and you have some uncertainty because we're still in the pandemic, then you probably would get comfortable to sign it. But I'm just letting people know they should think about that.
Michael, in terms of the size of the company, when we did the first PPP, you had to be, for the most part, there were some exceptions under, I believe it was 500 employees. What about this round?
Yeah, it's basically similar size. You have to be under that 500 employees. So it's really just comes down to the qualification of the reduction in revenues and, and sort of the need based, although that's very subjective.
Do we have any indication of when these dollars may be sent out?
Well, the program is open from January 11th until March 31st. And it's my understanding that, the portals are open at the banks. And once you apply and once you get the approval from the bank and from the SBA, you're going to get funded pretty quickly. The money is there, it's available, and it's just a question. And the portals for most of the banks just opened up maybe mid to late last week, and people are really just starting to apply en masse. And I think the money is going to be released relatively quick, like within a week or two of getting the approval.
So if you worked with the bank last time, because that's the way the PPP funding worked, you
Absolutely.
go back again to a bank that you had partnered with and use that same bank or another bank if you choose, but you can use your same bank and go back to try to get these dollars.
Absolutely.
Right. And you also, we were talking before our discussion today that you said there might also be some help specifically out there for healthcare companies. Can you speak about that?
Yeah, the HHS has a new program where they're funding healthcare companies that sustain losses during 2020. So like, for example, I was speaking to a dental client of mine that has 3 or 4 different dental practices. Some of them did pretty well, but they have a lab and they have a different entity that lost quite a bit of money. So you can apply on a per company basis if you have multiple companies. But in this particular case, this HHS loan, I don't have all the details. It just came out within the last week or so. But if you were in the healthcare field and you had any losses from last year, the government will fund up to 88% of the losses up to a certain amount of money. And wow. I haven't studied the details of the law yet. I just thought it would be good to make people aware that that program is out there. It just came out. And I mean, a quick Google search will get you the details, but I just wanted to make everybody aware of it.
Great, Michael. If anyone who's watching Gunster's View from the Top has any questions about this new PPP program, where can they get in touch with you?
They can call us. Thankfully, we have an SBA task force with about 10 people that read all the laws. On the healthcare side, we have a healthcare partner that's very up to speed, Kevin Reynolds. On the HHS money that's just coming out, that stimulus money. But we do have a team of very educated people, and if they call me, I'll put them in the right hands immediately. They can call our director of marketing, Dan Kovac. For that matter, they can call any partner in the firm, and they'll know exactly where to put them in.
Great. So they can reach out to Daszkal Bolton and find you on the web and reach out to you and get those answers. So that's great. Michael, thank you so much. We really appreciate you spending some time with us on Gunster's View from the Top. We appreciate working with you, and we appreciate all you do for the community too, Chairman of the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce. So we appreciate your service back to our community as well.
Well, thank you very much, Senator LeMieux, for the opportunity. And I love what I do, and I love giving back to the community. And it's really a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, take care, Michael.
Have a great night. Thank you. Bye.